Hello guys, I'm George from Team Sulfur, and today I am coming at you with a zombie deck profile with a twist. This is a fairly strong deck, which is not really going to break any meta. It's not going to be any, it's not going to break Pepe, it's not going to destroy Cosmo. It's just a fun deck to play at locals, or maybe take to a regionals if you've already topped, if you've already got your WCQ top, which I haven't yet. I will need to. I have got my planned deck for regional, which is my Magispector Pepe deck, which I've already profiled, which will either come to you before or after this. I don't know, haven't decided yet. But let's get right into the profile. First up, we are running a single copy of Plague Spreader. The only reason for this is because it's not actually the Destiny Hero build, which I might profile later sometime. But it's, as you probably should know, it's a good recursion from the grave, as well as there are other ways to recur it. But it's a good, just solid level 2 tuner, which can be easily summoned by itself or in a multitude of ways. Then we have 3 copies of the main tuner in this deck. The main tuner of the deck is Unizombie, where it will dump your... It's essentially your Foolish Burial, and it's a really good card because it will dump your Mizukis into the grave when you need them. Because if you, say, have... Well, let's just say you have some form of zombie in the grave, and you have a Unizombie in hand. Special summon the Unizombie, normal summon the Unizombie, use its effect, dump from the grave, use the Mizuki effect to bring back the zombie, and then you've got an instant synchro play. Then next we have the Zombie Master, which I may bump up to 2, hopefully, if I can get another one. But currently I'm playing it at 1, and it's still solid at 1 because you have Goblin Zombie to search it when you need it, because it's got 0 defense, which is really good for us. So Goblin Zombie will search you practically... One second, I'm actually gonna... It can search you... Yeah, all of your zombies. Every single zombie in this deck can be searched. And then, because we've got, obviously, Mizuki to bring back from the grave, stuff from the grave, even including multiple copies of itself, if you really needed that. Just throw that to the side. Then for the twist, the Shaddoll engine. It's been done before, but it hasn't been done ever since the recent ban list. Sorry, I changed the focus on it. Ever since the recent ban list came out, banning Construct and limiting El Shaddoll fusion. But anyway, Falco, just to special summon from the grave to get some decent plays out. Then we've got the 2 Hedgehog for just flipping this up to search your Shaddoll fusions, which are also, I'm calling the extra Foolish Burials. Anyway, next, oh yeah, and you can also go into some level 5s with this as well if you've got stuff in your grave, and then you can flip this, which is kind of an optimal play. Anyway, next cards are the Shaddoll Dragons. I literally just bumped it up to 2 because it's a thing where it's both the fact that it can bounce a card to the hand and the fact that it can destroy spell and trap cards on the field. It's too good, really. Not too good. It's a balanced card, I think. It's a really good card. And it's useful up against the Pepe decks that we are seeing, when you can just dump it, and it turns a lot of things into just an MST, really. Then we've got the Squamata, which becomes all your Shaddolls, and then your double Beast, which just gets you further into the deck. that's your Shaddoll lineup. Then for the random sort of, I guess, janky kind of cards, just my picks, you could change them. I play the one Mass Chameleon, just because it's a top deckable sort of instant either XYZ or it's an instant synchro, depending on what you get out. Then for next we've got BLS. It's a top deckable kind of just beat stick which gets over quite a lot of stuff, especially Pepe. Pepe magician kind of thing is something that this is really good at using, and then Rogue as well. Rogue's useful. It's useful against. Then we've got Glow Up Bulb and Effect Veiler. The Effect Veilers can be used in a sort of when you need the tuners, and then Glow Up Bulb is there for when you need Nat Beast or when you just need a level 5. Sorry, my voice is going a bit weird, it's kind of late at night and I don't have a drink, which is lovely. Anyway, going on to the spells, we have, this is for one-off spells, we have our Allure of Darkness, Inglorious First Ed ulti. Not mint though, that's a shame. But yeah, it's just to get you extra draws, because you don't really care about the darks in your hand. You're not really going to bother if you really need the draws. If you don't need the draws, you won't be playing this. Literally, if you don't need the draws, you won't use this at all. And it'll may be dead, but you can just feign it being something else. Anyway, then we've got a Galaxy Cyclone for just getting rid of stuff when needed. Raigeki and Foolish. It just becomes any Shaddoll and it's Mizuki at the same time. So it's just extra stuff, which is useful. For the two wolves and the Shaddoll kind of cards, I guess. But anyway, sorry. The Books of Life, because getting rid of stuff from your opponent's grave and having essentially a monster reborn is good. Unfortunately, you do have to banish a monster for it to work, I do believe, because you do have to target both to be able to do anything. You only have to target them, so even if your opponent chains like Call the Haunted, I do believe it will still work. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, yeah, then we got 2 copies of Shaddoll Foolish Burial. The reason why I call that is because you really aim to get this resolved from the deck rather than from your hand or field. That is the most optimal play to get the Mizukis out. And then the one lone Shaddoll Fusion, because it acts as an MST. It acts as an MST, and it acts as you just like a Jar of Greed and all that kind of stuff. In a way, don't take it literally. If you take it literally, then I'm just gonna slap you, metaphorically, with my deck. Don't know where that came from. Yeah, sorry, females, if you're watching this. What am I doing today? Anyway, traps, Call of the Haunted, recursion, and you can sort of feign having like any important traps, even though you run not very important traps to your opponent, except for 2. 1. But you run 2 of it. Anyway, I'll move on to it now. 2 breakthrough skill. Nothing really to say, you should know what this does. It negates effects. It can banish itself to negate effects. Nothing more to it than that. And then Shaddoll Core, because it's a good card that can be discarded from, not discarded, but can be sent to the graveyard by costs to use its effect, as well as the fusion monster's effects that we use, and it's also a way to get the one of the only ways to get into Garista. The other way to get into Garista is a little bit weird and annoying, but it's only and that's also situational. But yeah. Then onto the extra deck. I've only got 5 minutes, so I best hurry this up. Beals, because it's the main beat stick of your deck. You'll get this out or something else out alongside it and then beat over them. You might not get them out both out in one turn, but what can you do? Void Ogre, to stop your opponents from actually doing anything. You can stop your opponent from getting a scale, which is kind of cool. Yeah, whilst you have no cards in your hand as well, just saying. Scarlight, when your opponent's gone into a field and they haven't been able to OTK you, like with Pepe, you can summon this and burn them, and then carry on, and just like ruin their day. Also, it's pretty ghost rare first ed. Love it. Black Rose. It may not be as good anymore, but it's still good to run. To get just field clearance, just clearing out the field is good. Black Rose Moonlight, because getting rid of cards that Pepe will throw at you or Rogue will throw at you is good. And you can also get rid of Slip Riders. Slip Riders with it as well. And then 6 is Goyo Guardian, so that you can make plays with your opponent's cards. Really, that's the reason behind this. Sorry about that. Oh god. Sorry about that. Vulcan the Divine, the other way to get into Grista. Also, it's a way to recycle your Call of the Haunteds, that's what I was going for, Call of the Haunteds. And then clearing a card from your opponent's side of the field. Armades, Keeper of Boundaries, just so that you can get some clean damage in. Nat Beast, almost did that for the second time. That's the reason why I've been having so many cuts and having to redo it. Nat Beast, to stop your Pepe decks from going off, really. And because some people still like to run things like Necros or Gishkis, you can just negate their stuff, and it's fun. Then for the fusions, the Shaddoll fusions, you're running 2 Shek to negate effects, and the 1 Grista, as I was saying earlier, to negate this time to negate summons, because it's a Grand Horn. Oh gosh, sorry again. And then the 2 XYZs I play, Castell and Abyss Dweller. Sorry about the Super Abyss Dweller. In fact, 1 second. Quickly, before I carry on. There, that's better. My ulti, it's my baby. I love it. The Castell, just to clear stuff, and the Abyss Dweller just to stop your opponent from doing shit. Yeah, so actually, I guess that's the end of the profile. Let's just get some stuff out to look pretty as I talk for 2 minutes. It's a fun deck for sure. It's not by no means like super amazing, but you can make some really, really interesting plays, and I think it's a good deck to try just because of that. And it might be fun to take to your locals, play it against your friends, and that's all I've really got to say about it. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. If you thought that somebody could benefit from it, please give it a share, and also, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I've got some other deck profiles planned, including Zombie Lightsworn and Grista.deck, as well as hopefully I'm thinking of doing D-Hero Zombies as well. But anyway, I've been George Wilkes, why am I saying my last name? I've been George from Team Soulfire, and thanks for watching. Goodbye, thumbs up, yeah.